My friends, it really feels like this is going to be one fun video to make because it's been one wild month for just about everyone you see in the thumbnail right there. And whether it's for good reasons or for bad reasons, there is definitely a reason they are being covered today. In a case like Andy Ditch, he got on the phone with his father, who proceeded to call him a bonehead over and over and over again. It's really odd. You'll see it later. Jack Doherty. Oh my god. Everybody on the entire internet has wanted to see this dude locked up, and he was, for a little bit. But the arrest itself is just one funny instance to behold. Big Toph. Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna just cut to the chase and we'll cover it later on. It was Thanksgiving yesterday. Happy Thanksgiving to you all, by the way. A little late, but Mama Chu is in the hospital, she says with a grin. But no, she is not going to see her because Ubers are too expensive. This all comes a day after she said she was going to buy a $150 makeup palette just out of spite towards the trolls. DSP and Asmongold, dude, that interview was just horrible. Like, the first couple minutes I thought it had promise because Asmongold came right out the gate asking about that time Phil cranked it on stream, but no, just turned into a softball game. And then, the end of an era, at least for the next couple months until she can apply for AdSense again. Amberlynn Reid was demonetized here on YouTube, did this video where she was crying, talking about how fun it's been, despite it really not seeming like a fun time if you're Amber, if you know about her story. But that's a tale we can talk about later on as well. Where I want to start is the king arriving back in his castle.
Hey, Josh, there's a first fry by. Ooh, sorry.
I have a feeling this is not gonna go well for me.
And surprise, surprise, Josh was wrong. He's been having a pretty normal time in New York. Yeah, people are fry-bagging him, but he gets fry-bagged wherever he goes. Seems like he was only in the city for one night and then went out to see some family. Because remember, Josh is from right outside the city of New York. This is his home, but he hasn't been back in quite a while. And that's because he's been so deathly terrified of Mr. Based. You remember this guy? Josh's old handler. And this dude has always been a complete creep. A simple Google search of the name Mr. Based will tell you everything you need to know. And Josh and Mr. Based used to stream together all the time, kind of like you're seeing Josh do with this guy on screen right now. This is his new handler, Tony. And you might be asking yourself, why does this guy need a handler? It's not really a handler. It's someone who can walk around and point a camera in his face and take a bit of the ad revenue. That's what Tony or Mr. Based is to Josh. But Josh has been told a lot of stuff about Mr. Based and now wants nothing to do with him. Rightfully so. But Mr. Based, he is not taking no for an answer. He wants to get back with Josh so badly. So much so that I'm pretty sure he opened up a website called worldoftshirts.com. He sells merch of like Josh, and it's pretty weird, but due to the time streaming together that those two had, Mr. Based basically thinks they're inseparable. He refuses to let Josh go because the only reason people ever watched his stream in the first place was for Josh. Now, despite Mr. Based being the creep that I already mentioned him to be, I can see why this could be confusing to him. As far as I'm concerned, the last time those two were on stream together, things were pretty cool. Then Josh went away on a vacation, never came back, and the next time he heard from Josh, he was saying, "I am sending you a cease and desist. Do not sell any merch of me." And now Josh is back in New York, the hometown of himself and Mr. Based, and he is just terrified that Based might come up and try to talk to him. I could see the conversation now, Mr. Based walking up to him going, "Hey Josh, it's been a while," and Josh immediately, "No! I don't want to talk to you." And it would just be a really awkward situation. And honestly, I don't even know if Mr. Based would do that. Knowing the guy he is, he could just hire a crackhead to go harass Josh because that's the true Mr. Based way of doing things. This is also the first time Josh has seen his family in quite a long time because they're in New York as well and he hasn't been back. Ever since he went to Dubai and was denied entry, he's just been straight up gone. And this dude Tony right here, he's basically tagging along for all of it. I think it's really weird. You know, Mr. Bass was definitely a creepier guy than Tony, but Tony just refuses to get his claws out of Josh. Now, this is all speculation, but I feel like a big part of Josh not going back to New York isn't just because of Mr. Bass. It's because Tony here doesn't want Josh being able to go back with his family and being told, hey, this guy following you around and just recording you at your worst, he's not your friend. He's just another Mr. Bass trying to take advantage of Josh's popularity. And you might wonder, is he really that popular? I mean, look at the bar right now. All these fucking college kids being held back by security because they all want to talk to Josh. Like, what? Guys like Bass and Tony see that Josh is very popular, but also very naive. And if you can simply get Josh somewhere where he can get drinks, and you will pay for those drinks, then Josh will have no problem sitting right next to you, being on your stream, allowing them to reap the rewards of being the exclusive channel of seeing Josh block. And if you're wondering if this money's going to Tony or Josh, look at the dono that pops up on screen right about now, saying, keep up the great work, Tony. It's going to him, not Josh. But it must be a very annoying job to have, especially knowing the type of person Josh is. Like here's a clip of him getting overly, excited or wanting to roast Tony. I don't even know how to describe it, but Tony's not drinking alcohol. And Josh is just like, what are you, a party pooper? But he says it a lot louder and a lot more times than I just did right there.
Yeah, party pooper pants. You're not drinking.
Don't
party
have wet brain.
Pooper pants.
Liver's doing great.
Party pooper pants.
No hangover.
Party pooper pants.
Don't make
Josh, you're party pooper. You're a party pooper.
Josh, you're killing the vibe of the place, bro.
Well, now I'd argue that you're killing the vibe, Tony. Mr. I'm staying sober at the bar tonight. There's nothing wrong with staying sober. It's just, how do you think you're going to do it around Josh Block, the guy who wants to be at a bar every second of every day? But honestly, if you're trying to stay sober, Tony, more power to you. More power to any of you guys out there who are trying to stay clean. Difference is, though, if you're Josh Block's handler and you're trying to stay clean, he's going to drop you real quick the moment you decide, I don't want to go to the bar tonight. Can we just stay in? No, we have to party. We're in our 20s. I think you're in your 20s. Probably not. And one of the things Tony said right there was that he's not going to have a hangover. No headaches, nothing like that. Well, you're sure as hell going to have one big headache if you're trying to control Josh, especially if you take him on a bus and the bus driver decides to say, Josh, put the fries in the bag over the intercom. Is that what an intercom is? Or is that the thing at the drive-thrus? I don't know, but it happened and Josh did not react well, especially after the guy said he was going to call the cops, after Josh tried to attack him.
Joshua.
Who said that?
Bus driver.
Josh, stop. It's a bus driver. He's on campus. Josh, stop. We gotta
I want an apology.
Josh, he's not gonna give you an apology.
Apologize!
Josh, stop. Oh, stop. Don't bite me, dude. Stop. Josh, stop.
Apologize!
You're gonna break my fucking...
Josh, what are you doing in the luxury neighborhood?
Oh, Josh, stop.
Out of the way!
No, stop, Josh.
Josh! Why would you say that to me?
Get off here, man.
Get off, Josh.
Yeah, okay.
What are you doing?
Why'd you say that to me? Why'd you say that to me?
Get hard.
You said put the fries in the bag to me.
Right bullshit.
Were you
I said
joking?
to the front of the bus.
Were you joking?
Yes, Josh.
Get out of here. You're going to jail.
He just goes charging at that bus driver like a wild animal. And the bus driver says, I never said that. I'm pretty sure you did. I'm 99% sure you did. I think at first you told him to put the fries in the bag. Then you said to the front of the bus. Maybe I'm wrong, though. You can correct me in the comments. But nonetheless, it's not an invite for Josh to run at you while biting his arm, having Tony try for his dear life to stop him. And so you see Josh getting all tough, acting all crazy, demanding an apology. But the second the guy says, you're going to jail, man, Josh just completely flips. It's like night and day.
Going to jail? Sure. I can't. I've been. No!
Josh,
I'll
stop.
do anything.
Josh, come here. Josh, come get in this. We got a car right here.
Why did you say that to me? Tell me.
I just asked you.
Josh, the car's right here. Josh, the car's right here. He didn't say it. You heard, Josh. You didn't hear it.
Oh, get out of here! I don't want to go to jail again! I don't want to go to jail! I am you. Should we go there? Jail.
Josh, you didn't do anything. Stop. Josh, you didn't do anything. Just stop.
The police.
No, he didn't, dude. Just stop. You didn't do anything. Just stop. Josh, stop. Come on.
I'm sorry, that shit at the end gets me every time. I don't know if you guys remember the clip from a few months back, but Josh got really mad, threw his phone at the ground and broke that shit. And as soon as that shit hit the ground, he was like, "No, my beautiful phone." Like, I can't even do the impression anymore, but he immediately regretted that shit, and now whenever he tries to break his phone in a fit of rage, he lightly, like, very lightly throws it on the ground. Maybe he'll put a crack in it or something and it'll show himself how angry he is, but he is just mortified of that situation happening again, yet he puts himself in this situation every time. Like, look, here you go. He wants to throw it so bad, but no, not that hard. And then just when I thought he was out of the city for good, Josh is back in the Big Apple tonight. But he's not on the streets or anything, he's in some bar drinking, and it looks like it's just going to be an uneventful night of him getting drunk, going back to the hotel, drinking some more, and calling it an early night at like 3 or 4 a.m. And if anything more happens in the Josh Block story, I'll be sure to update you guys, but as of right now, it does not seem too eventful, but things can always change.
So what are you doing, bonehead?
I don't know.
Yeah, I called your name, you know.
What?
Called you bonehead.
Yeah?
Yeah, the answer to that, so must mean that you're Red Dog.
No.
Yes, it did. You answered that, so Red Dog and Bonehead comes in together. Right, Chewy? Chewy's a big bonehead. Andrew is a bonehead, Andy is a bonehead, Andy is a big bonehead, bonehead. Get it?
Yeah, you gotta feel for Andy Ditch's father, Tom. He's got a son who fakes autism, has tried to poison the family in the past. And what am I saying? Not even tried. He did poison the family in the past. Putting a weird concoction of stuff in the coffee pot, getting his whole family sick, abusing the family, and yet he's always calling his father, begging him to do things for Andy that Andy can completely do himself because he is a grown adult male without autism, and it just seems like he wants to fuck with his dad. Honestly, any phone call with Andy and his dad seems like it doesn't even need to happen, and Andy is just trying to waste his time. But old Tom is fighting back now, getting on the phone with Andy, and when Andy's just ranting and raving about the fucking people at the group home, Tom's just calling him a bonehead. Bonehead. Like, I wonder what Andy's thinking on the other line while Tom's doing this. He doesn't say a word. He stays silent for another couple of minutes and then again goes ranting and raving yet again. And Andy's been very active back on YouTube again, posting tons of phone calls with people and mainly just making a bunch of videos where he tries to make himself out as some kind of victim. In the one we're about to look at here, he compares himself to John Fetterman and says that they both had strokes, and I guess that means they have a lot in common. Although this video really only serves for Andy to talk about how he needs help for people wiping him yet again.
But you are saying I don't need this help. They say that is not what I'm saying. I say it is what you said, though. They say again, you are not listening to what I'm saying. So they're telling me I don't need help wiping or showering. But yet why do they still come in to wipe me even after I said I think I got it all on my own at sometimes, and I said I didn't need help with it. They said I still have to wipe you, and they still found poop on me. I had way less skin rashes because of that help. So why did they try saying that Dad wants me to do that? Yes, he said that. But see how the conversation is slow paced? You're not just rambling on different points, and then I'm already lost and forgot about what you just said and only remember the very last few words you said to me. That is where I have the behavior issues. If I had somebody to help me, which is, by the way, a law under the Americans with Disabilities Act, where healthcare providers have to accommodate people with disabilities, I would not have these issues with people. When they say, Andy, why are you getting frustrated with asking what, by explaining to him, yeah, you need help making a decision for what to eat for dinner. I said, I've asked him for that help. He doesn't want to help me. He tells me that I don't know what you want to eat and I can't be a mind reader. And I responded with, but there are sometimes people who need help, and that is sometimes that I need this help, and I'm asking you to please just help me. Because my caregivers did not buy food that I would not eat or did not like. Do you see where I'm coming from on this point? So, I now have a set of examples that help me be able to regulate and not get upset with my caregivers because they saw me needing this help and they changed the way they communicated with me. They also was very inconsistent in this accommodation. Because one day they would do this with me, but not the next. Or maybe they'll do it one time in the first part of the day, but not next. Or they'll do this only after I have a behavior issue on that day. So it was never a all the time thing, and I had an up and down experience. Even though this has been said by my doctors, by my speech therapist, by my service and support coordinator, and in my care plan. So this is why I need somebody to help me take a deep breath, process what you're telling me, and then respond. I feel that using my AAC device, I'm better organized. I can see what I am trying to tell people, not just be able to think it in my head and get it out. And then sometimes I may say something totally different than what I'm meaning, and this way it helps me be able to avoid being misunderstood. And that's why I need people to please help me be able to communicate with what I actually mean. It has happened so many times where my doctor would actually make a statement in my record that I didn't mean any of the things that I had told him, that he misunderstood me saying. But then my service coordinator emails me, did you tell your doctor that you had bed bugs? I told her, yes. And I told him what I was told. And even named the person who told me that we have bed bugs. And shared a picture with him of what the person took a picture of. So this is where I was being honest with my doctor, and that is why I can't go back to speech and occupational therapy for until I get documentation for a exterminator thing. But the problem is Royal is refusing me that documentation because I'm no longer under the care of Royal. But they have to because I'm paying rent here. So this is where I'm bringing this up to you because it has delayed me getting the dedicated device, because once I get a dedicated device, I am cutting out my internet access. And yes, that device has to have internet at once every month, but mandatory on the first time I open it up.
What in the fuck did any of that have to do with John Fetterman? I mean, this just seems like Andy saying, hey, I don't need help wiping. I told them I don't need help wiping, but they just came in and wiped me anyway. That's not true. If you have watched any video on Andy Ditch before, you know full well that this guy's always bitching and moaning, saying that he needs help wiping, and every now and again he'll say, oh no, I don't need help because the internet says I don't need help, because he loves to scour the internet and find people criticizing him, and trust me, there are a lot of them. But he says that when he does get help, he doesn't get a rash, meaning, you know, he can't do it right. He doesn't know how to wipe properly. So if they don't help him, he's gonna get rashes and shit. Really morbid stuff, especially when you consider that he doesn't even need this help. He's just taking away resources that actual people who really need it now can't get. And then he's talking about needing a device to help him speak because he doesn't mean what he says. It's just Andy wanting to have an iPad that he can click words and it'll say it for him, kind of like Stephen Hawking. And what's weird is he already has one of these, so I don't know why he needs another one. And he finally says that he's getting off the internet. But this AAC device, the one to help him talk, needs internet access. It's mandatory for Andy. Why does he think he can just make all these fucking demands? But guess what? It seems like most of the time they are honored. Andy says he can't cook. They will cook for him. Andy says he doesn't like the stuff they bring home. I guarantee you they'll bring home different stuff next time. Just kick this guy the fuck out. He says he pays rent. I don't know if that's true or not, but it doesn't seem true. It would have to be his dad paying for it, because Andy sure as shit doesn't have a job, and I don't even know if his dad is, so does that mean the state's paying for it? It's like Andy on disability or something that he totally doesn't need to be on? I don't know. But he said he brought up bed bugs to his doctor, and he didn't mean to say it, so that's why he needs this speaking device now. Again, you're just taking these products or these devices away from people who might actually need them. It's all in one big attempt to get everyone in the world to go, wow, that guy has autism. When he doesn't. I don't know why you're just trying so hard to prove something that's not there. But at the end of the day, this is just one weird fetish for Andy. He loves knowing that people are just waiting on him and they'll do whatever he says. And for some reason, he keeps getting into places that allow him to do this shit. Hopefully one of these days the group home he's in says, you know what, you don't need to be here, and they kick his ass out. But if you want to see people calling Andy out on his bullshit, look back at this video I did last year called Andy Ditch versus the Police. Andy gets called out by the police department of, I believe, Cleveland, who say, yeah, we got word from your town back in Tonawanda, Tonawanda being the town Andy's originally from, and they said, yeah, this guy doesn't have autism, he tries pulling this shit all the time, and the cops are literally sitting there talking to Andy, telling him this, and he just starts screaming, freaking out, saying, you say I fake, and different shit like that. But guess what? They say you fake because you do fake. But now, I want to show you guys me and Kiwi's initial reaction when we saw that Andy was comparing himself to John Fetterman, because there's a picture out there of Andy that you probably see in the thumbnail right now, and it is just ridiculously similar to the one you see on screen. So without further ado,
let's skip to him comparing himself to John Fetterman and saying that because they both had strokes.
I want to be able to show you something. So...
What is happening?
U.S.
What is happening?
United States Senator John Fetterman.
Fetterman?
The clear
Hold
example.
up. Pause. This picture of John Fetterman looks almost exactly like the picture of Andy in a fucking suit at the funeral. If you watch.
Yeah.
Do we have that picture?
I don't have it on hand.
I will go find that picture. Tell me that's not the same. Fuck.
Oh my god, it looks just like him, dude. That's insane.
Oh my god.
Things are starting to make a lot of sense.
No. I'm going. I got him. Hey, yo, you don't want to go neither. Back up. I'm just saying I got him. Back up. Don't worry about it. Back up. Yo, back up. Yo. Where you going? Back up. Chill. Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? You're funny.
Jack Doherty, hands down the lamest streamer on the internet. This guy was arrested a few weeks back, and he was arrested for resisting and for possession, I believe, of weed, allegedly, whatever. And he's already out of jail. He was out of jail shortly after this arrest took place, but the arrest video itself and how scared Jack looks and how much his security guard tries to get in the way of the arrest is just phenomenal. Jack is somebody who, if you've never seen his content, he just walks up and down the street with his security guard at his side, just harassing whoever he wants without any fear of repercussions, because if anyone tries to step to him, this big dude behind him gets in the way. And it's hilarious to see him not be able to do that right now, and he must just feel so defenseless, kind of like he makes the people on the street feel when Jack goes up and tries to fuck with them. You can even hear the security guard try to tell the cops, "No, it's cool, I got him," and they back him up real quick and go, "Dude, get the fuck out of here, back up," and there's nothing he can do. And as soon as Jack realizes he's actually being arrested, his big smile disappears and becomes nothing but fear.
Don't worry about it. Back up. Yo, back up. Yo. Where you going? Back up. Chill. Go to the sidewalk now. Go to the sidewalk now. You want to go with him? You're funny. You want to be fucking funny? Go to the sidewalk now. You want to be funny? You say to get on the street, go on the fucking street. Who the fuck you think you are, bro? No, you're fucking not. He was trying. Like, after I fucking do this, who the fuck are you, bro? I was trying to walk up the street for the doesn't matter, bro. All you had to do was get in the fucking sidewalk. That's it. And you want to be fucking funny. That's it, bro.
Free JD. You're great.
Everything gotta be some goddamn content, man.
Everything's gotta be some goddamn content, man, says the security guard, who, you are a big reason of why this shit goes down all the time. You're a big reason of why he's getting arrested right now, because he feels like he's on top of the world. He can do whatever he wants just because he has you by his side. Like, look at this clip.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Like, the second he bumps into someone, the second he says anything to anybody, these security guards pounce on them. And when I see clips like that, all it makes me think is, man, I would love to be a police officer, because I just go, yo, chief, let me just follow this kid and his security guard around all day, and the second this fucker slips up, the second this security guard puts his hand on anybody, I'm just arresting him. It's like, who do you think you are to be able to just be like, no, you are not to harass Jack Doherty? I may get some comments from people saying, oh, it's his job, but no, you don't just put your hands on people because they're daring to step to Jack after he harasses them. And after he got out of jail, another guy pressed Jack right on the streets, right in front of his security guard. And I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say that the security guard didn't get involved in this particular clip, because one of the first things to come out of Jack's mouth while they're arguing is to call this guy boy.
You're not little baby, bro. Stop trying. Get little baby dick out your mouth, you dumbass dick rider. And get my dick out of your mouth too, boy. Get away from me, boy. Get the fuck out of here. Who? You. Get out of my face. Who? Get out of my face. Who? I will smack the... Yo, you bucking this man right here, bro. Get out of my face. I respect the dog shit out of you. What have I done to you? I respect the dog shit out of you. Get out of my face, bro. I will respect the dog. You got this man right here, bro. That's security right there. That's security. You think I'm like a big bad wolf? It's over, bro. You think I'm like a big bad wolf, over. Bro. You think I'm like a big bad wolf. This shit keep your dumb ass in jail. Dumb ass point. Look at you trying to start a problem out of nothing. Look at you go. Hey, suck my dick. Did your clip not go as planned?
The only reason Jack still stood there and talked to that guy is because he knew that if the dude got a little violent, his security guard actually would have like done something. But honestly, that's like closer than anyone I've ever seen get to Jack. This guy had his hands right in Jack's face and the security guard just sat there and was like, okay, I'm just gonna let it ride. Or maybe he was just on edge because Jack had just gotten out of jail, didn't want to get them in any more trouble. I don't know. But I imagine we'll be seeing many more douchey clips from Jack come out for the next few weeks, probably the next few years, until he inevitably slips up and does something really stupid and faces actual jail time. I would have thought that would have happened when he crashed his car last year, but nope. Jack seems to have just as much plot armor as any of the other lolcows on this channel.
My mom told me this was on because she's at the hospital. She's very sick. She's in pain. She's not breathing. Well, she's having trouble breathing. I mean, not that she's not breathing. She's having trouble breathing. Christmas with the Cranks. I need to watch that. I love that movie. Because there's no buses and she's way on the west side. I don't have a ride there. And no, I cannot just take an Uber or a Lyft. I don't got money. Who cares? Like, you're literally complaining about a makeup palette, no brats for you. Okay, well, then I'll just spend $150 and buy it just to piss you off. So you can say, why did you spend your money on that? That's a waste of money. Saying no brats palette, okay, that's not gonna upset me. You can tell me I'm not gonna get one. I'll just buy one.
So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the other day was Thanksgiving, and Tophia spent it from the group home as she does most days. But what's different about this day than most is, well, not only Thanksgiving, but it's that Mamachu is in the hospital, and as Tophia described it, she's in a lot of pain, she's having trouble breathing, and oh shit, Christmas with the Cranks is on? That's like the 183rd best Christmas movie. And also, you guys probably noticed it there, the smirk Tophia had right after saying that. I just don't understand being in this clear of mind while your mom's going through this, and then having the nerve to say that you can't get there because it's across town and you don't have money for an Uber. I saw some of you guys saying it on Twitter because I posted this clip yesterday, and you guys were saying that you would move hell and high water to get to your mother if she was in that situation, but not Toph. Buses aren't running, walking is never an option, and, you know, again, Uber's just way too pricey. But you know what's not too pricey? A makeup palette. A Bratz-themed makeup palette, to be specific. Sophia was talking about this the other day on TikTok. She was saying that she wanted to get a free one, and apparently she didn't get it. And people in her chat were ripping on her for that, saying, haha, no makeup palette for you. And just to spite those people, she said, you know what, it may be $150, but I don't care. It's my money, I'll spend it on what I want. I'm gonna get that makeup palette. But again, in Uber, to go see your sick mother on Thanksgiving is just too expensive. What the fuck? In the last video I did on Sophia, we talked about how she slipped up and called Tophiachu her stepdad, which put a lot of people's suspicions in a very good place when they realized, oh shit, this is probably not a black woman we're looking at. But Sophia is just, she's not having that. Anyone who says that in her chat, they're just racist. The other day on Too High for Stupid, myself and Kiwi covered Tophia's most recent antics, which included her saying that if she was a bad person, she would say that she wants all these trolls' house to burn down, but she would never say that, but that's just how she feels sometimes. Her words, not mine, and I'd show you the clip if she didn't have blaring copywritten music all over it. Another clip I'd love to show you, but again, copyright fucking hell right here. She's arguing with a 14-year-old in her comment section because the 14-year-old told Sophia, you should brush your teeth. Sophia then responded, you have an ugly personality. And if it stopped right there, it'd be like, alright, whatever, like, who cares? But Sophia is now on a crusade, going on live streams saying that she wants to get in contact with this 14-year-old's parents, so Sophia can tell them that this girl is bullying kids at school. And no, that's not an assumption, because if she's gonna bully a 31-year-old woman online, she's definitely bullying kids in school. Again, Sophia's words, not mine. And it's just such a weird fucking argument to make, the fact that Sophia, a woman who's so immature herself, is trying to like parent this kid, trying to get in contact with her parents. Like, what would these people even say? Oh wow, thank you for the call, 31-year-old homeless woman. You definitely have our daughter's best interests in mind. What was that you were saying about wanting your trolls' houses to burn down again? And as if it couldn't get worse for Sophia, the other night she was live and she was banned for harassment and bullying on her backup channel. Now, that's because her main TikTok with over 400,000 followers, that account's banned from live streaming, so she only uses it to announce that she's going live on her backup channel. And so she was hit with like a 4 or 5 day ban. She can't stream until the end of the month, and that is just a big red flag for Sophia. On Thanksgiving, when she was supposed to go see her mother, which she never planned on doing, she was more focused on getting a backup channel for her backup channel running. And guess what? She wasn't allowed to live stream there either. Remember, to her, this is a job. Despite her making pennies on the dollar while streaming, it's an excuse for her not to go out and have to look for work while she's at the group home. So with her not being able to stream, it's a real conundrum for Sophia. She'll be back live in a few days, but hopefully this gives her a good lesson. You can't be harassing and bullying people, Sophia. TikTok said what they said, just like you say what you say. Sophia was giving weird, and TikTok noticed it. You know, a lot of these women are having their platforms drastically altered recently, especially this woman.
I've had a lot of people say that I'm not the same person I was when I first started YouTube, and that's the truth. I can handle a lot. I can handle a lot. A lot of people are like, Amberlynn, you wouldn't be able to join the LCU because all the hate you get. I would get less hate there than I would here. I know I have support. I know there are people who genuinely care, who genuinely like me, who genuinely see me for who I am. I know that. But reaction channels have created an environment, a safe space, a community to literally breed and feed off of hating me.
It seems like every time something bad happens to someone like Amberlynn Reid or someone like Tophiachu, who we just covered, it's always the reaction channels. It's always the trolls. It's always an outside external force that makes their life so much harder than it has to be. And it seems like they can never sit down and just go, fuck, like, man, do I just suck? And so what do? They point the finger at the people who call them out for their shitty actions. And Amber is a treasure trove of shitty actions. You can go back and watch almost any documentary on this woman on YouTube and get a full story of it. But the lies, the abuse to her former partners, the numerous times she said she was going on a weight loss journey only to just completely fuck that shit up. There's a lot of reasons people don't like Amber. The Rarity situation comes to mind. Really seems like she left that door open and the cat got out, but she'll never admit that, because it can never be her. It's never her who's wrong. It's always these people calling her out. It's always someone else. And she talked about YouTube being the best time of her life and, you know, an amazing, like, decade of content. And I just gotta ask myself, like, really? It seems like just constant drama every single day. You're getting called out by your haters. You're crying on stream about your exes. Your fucking aunt has her own channel where she calls you out. Like, just seems like you'd be chomping at the bit to get away from this lifestyle. But I think Amber, she just likes getting in front of the camera. No matter what people say to her, she'll still get a paycheck at the end of the day. But now that is all ended because she has been demonetized on YouTube. And then she was talking about joining Andy Ditch Live, you know, Keemstar's lolcow show, and I can't imagine she'd get treated better over there than she gets treated on her regular channel. Maybe, I highly doubt it. Boogie would coddle her. Keem probably would too, but the people, you know, the people watching the show, I can't imagine they'd be like, wow, Amberlynn, she's so fucking awesome. Like, this girl is so truthful and honest in everything she says. And it feels like that's what Amberlynn wants, a place she can go and just not be questioned, not be criticized. She tries to label it as hate, but no, it's just pure criticism, and she hates it. But I guess the good news for Amber is that she has some job typing stuff, or at least that's what she wants to have people think. I remember seeing these videos of her a few months back where she's just typing away, showing what she eats in a day at work, and it doesn't seem like she's doing that anymore, so she might not have the job. But so for her sake, I hope that job's hiring again, because YouTube ain't paying her any more shekels.
Before we get into that, we got to get something straight.
Okay.
Can I just say it? Is it all right if I just, we just talk, straight?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so whenever you went on stream and you accidentally got caught jerking off, you got suspended by Twitch, right?
No.
And it just went downhill from there. Asmongold and Phil's interview is something that a lot of people were excited for, but most of us knew eventually it would just turn into what it turned into. Simply put, it was just a really boring interview where Phil was hit with nothing but softball questions and lied through his teeth anytime he was slightly pressed on something. When talking about his quote-unquote detractors, he just made them sound like the most evil people imaginable while not explaining why people probably have a good reason to not like Phil all that much. He really tried to downplay his begging by acting like it was something that happened, every now and again, not a frequent occurrence at all, despite anybody who's watched a Phil stream before knowing that he does this shit like 4 or 5 times every half an hour. And what this did was it showed Asmongold's 40,000 viewers a facade of Phil. Phil is now trying to keep up this facade on his streams, saying he will no longer beg, he will no longer, ask for money, and that's because people are throwing money at him now. And these are all new people who have found Phil through this stream with Asmongold, and they're like, wow, this dude's he's got his head on straight, and all these people who talk shit on him, they are so wrong. The craziest thing about all this is that this entire interview stemmed from Asmongold reacting to Phil on his stream. And in the initial clip Asmongold reacted to, it was Phil yelling at his kick chat telling them, you don't get nothing. You didn't support me, you get nothing. You guys, there's a give and take, and you basically just kick me in the balls by using all these support messages and not actually giving me money. It was an incredibly greedy look at an incredibly greedy man, and Asmongold basically let Phil explain to his audience that it was all a big joke, and Phil's real audience knew it was a joke. Now that's despite Phil saying in that very clip that it's not a fucking joke. But now he's just trying to act like everything that's wrong with him, everything people criticize him for, is because of the detractors. Does this ring a bell? Didn't we just talk about this with Amber? The idea that people are just taking your clips out of context because they're clipping the worst parts of them is just, that's bullshit. You don't have to watch a whole 3-hour Phil stream where he's sitting there asking for donos, fake laughing at moments in the video game that aren't even funny, to get context on why he's taking messages away from people for not donating enough money. The context is right there in the clip. But of course, Phil tried to explain this away, and to a lot of people, apparently, he did a good job at that, which is just crazy to me if you know anything about Phil's story. Just a really boring interview that you can go catch the re-upload of on many channels here on YouTube, but now Phil is he's seen more support than he's seen in years because of this, and it's going to be hilarious in a month or two when it all dries up and he's back to begging for tips, which he now claims he will never do again. It's kinda similar to another guy in Phil's lore, a dude who a few months ago was raking it in and now is struggling and doing anything he can to get a little bit of attention and some donos. Looking at you, PWR, with your head gigging and your Corey Feldman usage. This deserves a story of its own one day, whole video to itself, but we'll get there. We will get there. That's all I got for y'all today, my friends. This Phil Asmongold interview, I was going to show some of it, but again, you can catch a re-upload of it if you really want to put yourself through this torture. But until I see you guys in the next one, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you like videos like this and you want to follow along with the stories of the people I cover here, then follow me over on Twitter. I'm talking about this shit all the time over there. It was a crazy month, my friends, and I imagine December is going to be a whole lot crazier. So until I see you guys in that one, take care, everybody, and I will catch you all next time. Stay safe.